The International Space Station, or the ISS, is arguably the most astonishing, multinational construction project in the history of mankind. It is the largest modular space station that is currently at the low orbit of our Earth. It is the largest single structure, or simply the thing, humans have ever put into space, yet. Although the main compartment was completed between 1998 and 2011, since science and technology improves day by day, the ISS also continuously evolves to include new missions and experiments. The International Space Station is a cooperative program between Europe, the US, Russia, Canada, and Japan. With an annual cost of about $3 billion to operate, the ISS has been continuously occupied by many astronauts and cosmonauts since 2000. Back in the day, the idea of a space station was merely fiction until it became clear in the 1940s that it's not impossible. Designs of space planes and stations dominated the popular media as the space age began in the 1950s.
Men afloat in a topsy-turvy world, and they'd better be...
The first rudimentary station was created in 1969 by linking two of the Russian Soyuz vehicles in space, followed by other stations and developments in space tech until the construction of the ISS began in 1998 with the invention of first reusable spacecrafts, the American shuttles. Timestamps of the construction of the ISS.
Reagan directs NASA to build the ISS in January 25, 1984.
Tonight, I am directing NASA to develop a permanently manned space station and to do it within a decade.
With that speech, U.S. President Ronald Reagan's State of the Union address directs NASA to build an International Space Station within the next 10 years. First ISS segment launched on November 20, 1998. The Zarya control module was launched aboard a Russian Proton rocket from Baikonur Cosmodrome, Kazakhstan. Zarya, meaning sunrise, supplied fuel storage, battery power and rendezvous and docking capability for Soyuz and other spacecrafts. First U.S.-built component launched on December 4, 1998. Unity Node 1 module, the first U.S.-built component of the International Space Station, was launched into orbit during the STS-88 mission. Unity joining with Zarya was the first step in the assembly of the orbiting laboratory. First crew to reside on station, November 2, 2000. The first resident crew, dubbed Expedition 1, arrived in November 2000 on Soyuz TM-31. This crew included NASA astronaut Bill Shepard and two Russian cosmonauts Yuri Gidzenko and Sergei Krikalev. U.S. lab module added on February 7, 2001. Destiny, the U.S. laboratory module, was added, increasing on-board living space by 41%. The space shuttles Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour delivered the Destiny laboratory and Quest airlock, in addition to the station's main robot arm, the Canadarm2, and several more segments of the integrated truss structure. But the expansion schedule of the ISS was interrupted in 2003 by the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster, resulting in a hiatus in flights. Assembly resumed in 2006 with the arrival of STS-115 with Atlantis, which delivered the station's second set of solar rays. As a result of the major expansion of the station's power-generating capabilities, more pressurized modules could be accommodated, and the Harmony node and Columbus European Laboratory were added. These were soon followed by the first two components of Kibo. Columbus European is the lab portion of ESA, or the European Space Agency, and Kibo is the lab portion of JAXA, which is the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. In March 2009, STS-119 completed the integrated truss structure with the installation of the fourth and final set of solar arrays. The final section of Kibo was delivered in July 2009 on STS-127, followed by the Russian Poisk module. The third node, Tranquility, was delivered in February 2010 during STS-130 by the Space Shuttle Endeavour, alongside the Cupola, followed by the penultimate Russian module, Reside, in May 2010.
The last pressurized module of the USO's, Leonardo, was brought to the station in February 2011 on the final flight of Discovery, STS-133. The ISS is made up of 16 pressurized modules, 6 Russian modules, Zarya, Zvezda, Poisk, Resviet, Nauka, and Prichal. 8 US modules, Beam, Leonardo, Harmony, Quest, Tranquility, Unity, Cupola, and Destiny. 1 Japanese module Kibo and 1 European module, Columbus. The Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer was delivered by Endeavour on STS-134 the same year. 2 power modules called NAM-1 and NAM-2 are still to be launched, along with the European robotic arm, which will be able to relocate itself to different parts of the Russian modules of the station. The International Space Station location is in orbit around the Earth, at an average altitude of 248 miles. It circles the globe every 90 minutes at a speed of about 17,500 miles per hour. In one day, the station travels about the distance it would take to go from Earth to the Moon and back. The International Space Station at night is highly visible from Earth, appearing as a luminous moving point of light and rivaling the brilliant planet Venus in brightness. It can be seen from Earth without the use of a telescope by night sky observers who know when and where to look. There is typically an international crew of 7 people that live and work inside the ISS. Once at the station, astronauts will typically spend a mission period of around 6 months conducting various science experiments and maintaining and repairing the ISS. Outside of work, astronauts will spend at least 2 hours on exercise and personal care. They also occasionally perform spacewalks, conduct media/school events for outreach, and post updates to social media. The first astronaut to tweet from space was Mike Massimino, who did it from a space shuttle in May 2009. The ISS is a platform for long-term research for human health, which NASA bills as a key stepping stone to letting humans explore other solar system destinations such as the Moon or Mars.